was never meant to be permanent. The journey has always been about where the soul is going, not about remaining here, and it is not what most refer to as heaven. Though the astral plane is not explored in detail here, most souls must pass through it after death, often for 5 to 10 Earth years before reincarnation. This subject perhaps should inspire deeper examination, which you can find if you seek. And so the question remains, how does the modern world respond to the truths that Jesus taught? It does not.
Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. Am I going to hear myself? All right, people. We've got so many things to cover today. I know you're so caught up in the idea of money, trying to survive, trying to pay your bills.
You know those wooden things I got on
You know, I've been having so many problems trying to get a show going since it was taken down, and I had to redo everything, but it's still not working the way I wanted to. But again, I'm putting this out today. Now, the problem is we have a president, to call him that, I would call him a dictator, not a king, not a ruler, just a dictator. A king lives by the rules that they create over hundreds of years. A dictator makes his rules up by his own ego. And sadly, we have a serious problem with a person's ego bigger than maybe the higher powers. What's happening to the world? What's happening to the United States? The rich are getting richer. The rich are trying to control everything. If you don't know the truth about anything, I want to try to give you facts. You can look them up. You can search them out. You need to. You need to learn the real truth, not the make-believe stories. When I can get rid of this white line. All right. So here's the thing. We have money as the root of all evil, the phrase, but it's the people that control the money, that need the money for what? People. The names are out there. You know all the richest people and what they want. All right. Now, here's the thing. They don't want to tax the rich. They want to tax the poor. Does that make sense? Where they're claiming we have no money, which is another lie. Does anybody on this planet have a clue how much gold the United States really has? You know, years ago they let people go into the mint, and they only showed them one room with gold in it. All right? And they didn't have the ability to test it even to see if it was real gold. Then the whole idea of 9/11, there was gold stockpiled underneath it. I lived in Jersey at the time when I was in New York when it happened. The gold was removed 2 days before the problem happened. Now, to show you the system we had, those jets that supposedly were set by who? All right, we're going across the United States. Each state notified the next state that there was a plane going across the wrong direction. Nobody did a thing. Each state called the next state to tell them that, oh, it's coming to your state now. They knew where it was going near the end. Did they do anything to stop it? No. Now, if you're on top of the news, on top of different shows, there was a video released, which kind of disappeared, where they showed, all right, they showed the plane going through the building. All right. In the interim, when that was rubble, I was out there. A person named, I'm going to skip his name, came out there. They called him in. He's a UFO person, and they brought him in. What they couldn't find in the rebel debris is human skeletons, computers, or anything even vaguely related to that. Because everything was burnt. I'm talking about the middle floor, not the ground floor. But he says it's impossible. But there were scenarios. And one of them was an alien ship went through it, which was shown on Coast to Coast a week later of a plane flying through it. All right. Meaning it sucked everything out of there. One reason, one idea. Second of all, for the ignorant people that have no clue what happened during that time frame, 3 planes were supposedly attacking different places: the White House, Pentagon, and the Trade Center. Well, they destroyed the 2 trade centers. But why did the 3rd building collapse? Nothing was ever said. Nothing was ever brought up about it. Now, there was important people in a couple of those buildings, a couple of places. The sad part, I knew one of the top psychics in the UFO world. His name was Sean David Martin. 1 year exactly on that day, he prophesied exactly what was going to happen. All right. Whether he had inside information, I mean, I was good friends with him. He claimed to be psychic and know it. But to be that accurate, I think there was more inside information already out there what was going to happen. Now, to keep you informed, updating that, the day after Bush came out and said, you're either for us or you're a terrorist. So they classified 450 organizations as terrorist groups, including Greenpeace. So bring you up to par, Mr. Putin said on Russian TV, and this is for real, I heard it. He said, Mr. Trump, I want you to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. Then he said, I want you to tell everybody what the United States is doing with aliens. This is for real. And then he said, we are working with many alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. What's that mean? Now, the UFO world's falling apart. It's getting pulled into this delusional world because of one person who is pretty, well, probably one of the people I dislike more than anybody else other than Trump, maybe, who's destroying the UFO world, destroying any truth that was in it, creating this false world about it, even working with Congress. And now supposedly Trump's supposed to come out and break out some files about the UFO world. I'm going to tell you straight out, people, you're never going to get the truth publicly. The people that could tell you most of the important things are dead. Not dying of sickness or things like that. Taken out. And I caught 2 letters and 2 numbers. And it's MJ12. All right, it's real. When you go into any of these AI sites, they give you more bull. They can't answer it because they don't have the truth. Ask them what God is. You get a ridiculous statement, but Trump's new AI, they asked him what God was. And all this computer did was repeat something the Japanese scientist said about there has to be a higher force. All right? It can't think about things like reincarnation. It has no clue. And I'm going to tell you, I studied multiple things. I'm 73. I went through 5 death experiences. I learned how to leave my body. I learned all my past lives. And that's all really important to a soul. And to become aware of that in this lifetime. People that don't will reincarnate over and over. If you can't find a real God, you're going to stay in the lower realm. You're not going to be run into a higher realm, which you don't even believe in. Why would you be? All right. The astral plane is the realm where all souls go when they die, if they're leaving this world. That means souls that, anyway, get shot, get run over, die of a disease, sickness, whatever. But there's certain cases when a person has no awareness, shoots somebody and gets shot. They could be a spirit. When people get tortured and killed, sometimes they have no truth and they stay in that world being haunted in this physical reality. Spirits are real. Ghosts, demons, all those words are real. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's true. But guess what? In Congress, they're talking about that now because they have to expose some UFO files. And right now, I can tell you, we have such an ignorant Congress, ignorant people in government, have no, and that should be scary. All right, I've been in it all my life. I started at 6 years old. I learned the truth from that time on. It's all real. Aliens are real, UFOs are real, Bigfoot's real, spirits are real, demons are real. I was doing exorcisms when I was 19. I was a high priest at 16. I learned about psychic abilities, which are real, but not usable in this world right now. I mean, there's a person in the UFO world. I'm not going to say her name. Claims she could levitate a piece of paper. If you can levitate a piece of paper, you can levitate a car. But there's a Buddha somewhere up in the mountains that said he could levitate. And this guy traveled the world looking for somebody that could prove levitation's real. And when he went to this temple, the Buddha was on the other side of the room and levitated about 6 inches. I wouldn't let him come near him. But people, they're the greatest magicians. I was a magician for 25 years as well. Stage magician, as well as a white magician. All right. But levitation at a high level is limited to maybe a few souls. But they're not public. They're not going public. And they're not out there bragging and making money off of it. The second you corrupt the psychic ability, you pull yourself deeper into the level of hell, which is planet Earth. There's no hell after this. Now, the Pope, I'm going to go through so many things, but they all tie together. All right, the Pope himself said hell doesn't exist. Why would one of the most highest so-called spiritual people, religious people, come out and say that? That means a criminal, a murderer, a rapist. Oh, there's no hell. And I'm forgiven. What does that do for their consciousness? What does it do for their awareness? And what does it do for the rest of their life? Nothing good. He also came out and said Adam and Eve was a fake story. He also wanted to rewrite the 10 Commandments. Not the present Pope, the Pope that died recently. Well, now, if you know anything about the Vatican, they have city on the ground of all the files and documents and objects taken from around the world, from the native people, from tribal people, from governments. If you want to believe they have the Ark of the Covenant, I could tell you they might. But even in the UFO world, we have such people with such big egos and ideas and programmed. One says he has the Ark of the Covenant. And he wanted $1 million to build a machine that will link his Ark of the Covenant with the one the government has. Well, sorry, man. There was only one Ark of the Covenant. They built fake ones because the Ark of the Covenant was too heavy to carry in battle. And besides, when they opened it, it killed more than just the bad people. All right. I mean, it killed bad people, good and bad, in their mind. Like two different armies, they killed both sides. They didn't just kill that side. Because in a war, killing, there's no good people. Killing is only bringing your soul down to the lowest level it can be at and vibrate at, which is planet Earth. All right, soul stays here until it learns to grow and change its own vibration. Not how many children you could have, not how much money you can have, not how big of a boat and car and everything else you can get and all those kind of things. Now, I'm going to give you the things that keep soul here in this body. When it reincarnates, it's still a body that it's using. The body is not you, who and what you really are. It's like when you get in your car. Your car is not you, but you use it to get around. And that's what soul does here. But soul doesn't have instant awareness. And when, sorry about that. There's so much stuff in the air here in Hawaii. But you don't have the abilities and things that you wish you had or you think you have. You're not as holy as you are. There's no super spiritual people on this planet right now. I never say the word I'm spiritual. I'm on a spiritual quest, but I'm not spiritual. Spiritual means you wouldn't be living in hell. You wouldn't be coming back to hell. So I don't know if you saw the beginning of this, my book that I'm putting out is about the true Jesus, what he came here, what he taught. All right, it's not in the Bible. You think people trying to control the world are going to tell the truth? You think Trump's going to tell you anything about the truth of why he's doing anything he's doing? You think any truth is going to come out about the Epstein files? Oh, it's going to come out. But here's the thing, people, and this should be got to be aware of because it's going to be the worst problem we have. When a president declares war, he's in charge of everything. He overrides Congress, he overrides the House, he overrides everything. Because don't forget, he's the one that can push the button. And is there a button? Of course there is. Now, Russia recently warned him, if you try to take Greenland, you're going to see a nuclear war, and it could destroy the planet. All right, nuclear weapons aren't the most powerful weapons on the planet, people. There's protons, neutrons, electron bombs. All right, now we got one of the most dangerous weapons is a directed energy beam. But we do have the HARP system. These weapons, you probably have no clue. I bet if you took everybody in Congress, not one of them would know anything about them, what chemtrails really are and why they're using them. Ignorance in everything. And you think we can move forward, and Trump thinks he's going to create peace. Well, does he know anything about the Jewish teachings and belief and religion? Does he know anything about the Muslim religion and truth? How it came, where it came from, what it is and what it's about, what's going to happen? And lastly, do you know anything about the New World Order? The two Bushes were involved in it. And you see, even then, when Bush was president, there was a short video. Somebody filmed it at the place where they were doing ceremony. It was on the internet for maybe a couple hours. I showed you Bush and the two Bushes in ceremony with a skull with a girl on the table, the whole thing. And it was real, people. Now, there's nothing you could see that's real on the internet, which is even more scarier. You can't see a real person. Musk, all the videos you see are fake. Any people, Gates and all these people, I've been trying to get in touch with Musk for almost a year and a half. Famous women, Gail Gardeau, the one that played Wonder Woman. I came across 14 fakes, and they put live videos up of a fake video of the person that they're pretending to be. I don't know. I think the machine that they use is $300 a month. to create a video of somebody and their voice, and you control it. So that alone is dangerous. But with technology, I was into mermaids, and there's 100 videos of mermaids of being caught in the nets, stuck on land, and everything. Two things to know. When they do the videos that are fake, the women usually have clothes on, at least a bra. But now they got ones that look like creatures, which obviously is being created by AI. So we're in a world where everything you think you want to know is going to be a lie. And Trump's not going to come out and tell you the truth of why he's doing what he's doing. But the New World Order is also real. All right. Denver Airport. I'm going to go into those things before I go into more stuff. But Denver Airport is the actual base for the New World Order. I went there when it was first built, and I wondered why they had these machines going around. Oh, it's for the skis, to move the skis around in there. And if you ever went there, there was very few skis ever going around the airport. All right, I'm going to tell you this. I jumped in one of them to go around the airport. And they were chasing me and everything else, but it's not going to be used for skis. The murals that were there were 4 horrible murals on the wall. Showed 4 different religions in coffins, and all the symbols around it so that you knew it was a black race, Jewish race, Chinese race, Indian race, Native race. Sorry. All right. They were taken down. There's one up left. I don't know if it's still there. Unless I went to Denver Airport, it was. But when I went there the first time, I had the only picture. Anybody that gets to see this, there was a circle of steel in the main port where you buy your tickets. All right. In steel, about 35, 40 feet wide, covering a circle in the floor, it said U.S. Air Force New World Order. For real. Had the eagle in the middle. And then it had this triangle box here with trophies and pictures of presidents and different. All right. 2 years later, they removed that. The only thing that was left was one mural on the wall with a guy sitting with a machine gun and machete and a tear gas mask on and bombs blowing up with women in the field with their babies. It's horrible. Well, maybe, but it was all organized for a reason. The book Behold the Pale Horse, I think his name is Phil Cooper, I'm trying to think what his name was, but he didn't even have a picture of the floor, which I was amazed. So I had the picture, my computer was completely stripped. So that picture's nowhere. Nobody has it. Millions of people walked across the floor, never realized it said U.S. New World Order. The only thing that was still there, and it still might be on the second floor, there's a trophy this big. I know you can pull it up online, and it says U.S. New World Order. All right. It's only, 6 by 10, whatever. All right. And it's a little thing on the top. But the airport was built by different companies because no company was allowed to know the layout of the whole airport. But the beginning, when you walk through the tunnel, I call it a tunnel when you walk in, it's a concrete walkway with sprinkler systems on both sides. Why would they do that? Because it's a place where they plan on bringing the ships in, washing them off, and all that kind of stuff. But then again, look at the ceiling. Why does it have these white plastic cones all over instead of a real ceiling? Because the whole floor comes up and becomes a base. And that's going to happen soon enough. All right. Underground cities is never mentioned in the UFO world. It's not mentioned by the government. It's not mentioned anywhere. Now, one of the most people, when you call whistleblowers, there is one important one only. Jesse Ventura. He did a show for 2.5 years, exposing everything. FEMA camps, he went to one. There was rides and they have fences around it, but they have swings for kids and everything else in the FEMA camps. Then he exposed the New World Order's home base, and it's in the Ozarks. It's got, I think, between a 6 and an 8 foot wall around it. Security guards walking around it. All right. It's right directly over a gateway to an underground city. For real. This is real, people. Not imaginary stories, not whistleblower stories, not fake stories. All right. Jesse Ventura went into every aspect, UFOs, chemtrails, you name it. But when the word the HARP system came out, he went to the White House. 2 people met with him, and he spoke to one of them, and he said, well, why would you create such an invention or weapon? And he said, well, we don't know what we were going to do with it yet, but it is the most dangerous weapon. It's a lot more dangerous than a hydrogen bomb. All right. A bomb just means killing people. It doesn't mean, now, like a hydrogen bomb, a neutron bomb, proton bomb, electron bomb, do different things. You don't have to kill people. You can just take out, you don't have to kill the city. You can just kill the people. I'm going to tell you this. A friend that was a scientist in the Army was working on chemical weapons, including a futuristic LSD at that time, during Vietnam. All right. They have a gun. The United States doesn't use, supposedly. They can shoot it at a city and lay everybody down unconscious for 24 hours without killing one person. Do they use it? No. All right. Why? Why would you think? Supposedly, chemical warfare was kind of blocked for all countries. A couple of countries are using lasers and everything else, which is considered chemical weapons. But it wasn't supposed to be allowed. So, a directed energy beam is a lot more dangerous because it goes through space and it can hit anywhere. But chemtrails have a lot to do with the HARP system and directed energy beams, as far as reflecting beams and light and all things like that. All right, I'm putting this information out because you need to look it up and find out about the truth, which you truly need. The truth about life and death. Why are you here? Does that have to do with any of this stuff? Not at all. Who's creating all? I know I don't call myself a Christian. I was baptized a Protestant at 14, but I don't call myself a Christian. The Bible is filled with multiple lies. I proved it to myself. But you won't probably ever try to because you just believe. You want to believe it's real. How does Jesus teach somebody to love somebody? Think about it. Why would God take your sins away? Because you said you're sorry? And did he ever take credit for what he did? No. People, the wording in the Bible has been twisted, but it's been written by man, not Jesus, not God. Who was there when God created the earth? Moses? No. All right, now Christianity kind of believes Jesus was the one that was doing a lot, but that's another story that the Bible created. Jesus was the most spiritual being, meaning a soul in a human body. Now, psychic abilities do exist off the astral plane. There's 32. You can pull up 127. I could read the list, but only 32 of them are real psychic abilities. Clairvoyancy, telepathy, levitation, soul travel, things like that, all have a specific definition and what they do and can do. When you try to use psychic abilities, you create karma. And karma is a real word. Buddha didn't believe in God, but he did use the word karma over and over. Cause and effect. What you create, you are responsible for. Now, Jesus did teach that, but man didn't listen. I'm not going to go into the whole Jesus story because I don't know how much time I have. I have no clue. I can shrink this screen. Hold on. All right. If Jesus was alive, what do you think he would be doing today? Healing people? Did he say he healed people? What did he say to people that heal themselves? They, by your own faith, you were healed, not by my super psychic abilities. Now, soul leaves the body. That's not a psychic ability. It's what happens when the physical body dies. But see, government is related to the New World Order. All right. Now, you have to understand what their purpose is, who controls them, and what is their main goal. Now, we got separations in that. The Hasidic Jews have their own goal. And people, Trump is not talking about it. He's talking about people coming from other countries and being evil and rapists and murderers and all that. The highest crime of rape in the United States is created by family people. Remove all the family people and put them in jail and keep them in there. That doesn't happen. Look at Bill Cosby. All right, horrible story. Got out of jail in 2 years? 50 women he raped. And guess what? Was he friends with Epstein? Can anybody prove that or not? But again, people, I'm trying to give you things to look up and find. In Revelations, if you're a Christian, consider yourself a Christian, read Revelations 3 times in a week. Read where John tells people what sins can't be forgiven. Read it. Read where you go when you commit those sins, people. Christians, Catholic religion, 100 Hail Marys, 1,000 Hail Marys, and they're forgiven for whatever they do. Really? I mean, even in these mob movies, they always go to the priest and ask for forgiveness for killing somebody. It's not like that, people. If you believe that, you're living in La La Land. Buddha used the word karma. Buddha is the oldest, one of the older religions compared to Christianity. And he talked about karma. What you create, you reap. What you do, you have to pay back somehow, some way, in a lifetime, this one or the next. All right, there's no choices. You don't make those choices. Well, you don't have to make karma. You can keep trying to pay it off. But when you reincarnate, you take all the karma that you had back to this world with you, and you start. A lot of the ways you died in all your other lifetimes will affect you in this lifetime. I'm going through all kinds of weird things, but I know how many times it's a reflection of how I died in other lifetimes. Soul remembers everything. The mind does not. Buddha teaches about the mind. Well, the mind isn't soul. Soul doesn't have a mind. It's an awareness. All right, eternal awareness, and it's an eternal light. And it's not male or female. So the concept of all those ideas, God is a man, which is the biggest lie. God is a woman, another bigger lie. All right, it's just trying to take the attention off the one, which is a lie, and make it a new one. All right. So when we talk about what is God, read my book. When I first wrote my first book, How to See God, that's what I was trying to get into. My newest book is more about Jesus and what he was and what he taught. So we got people claiming and saying things, whistleblowers. All right, Putin, again, said he worked with alien races, and they were going to have wars with them. And we are. In the United States, we are. You think the government's going to come out and tell you any of that right now? Trump's supposed to expose UFO files, Area 51. Well, pull up alien interrogation. I'm surprised it stayed up. You know, government has their weird way of hiding the truth by putting the truth out as a lie. Most people thought the alien interrogation was fake. Like then when they put out 3 different alien autopsies and things like that. Well, 2 of the ones that were on TV were fake. All right. But the alien interrogation was real. But they only put a small part of it up. But even in that video, when they were interrogating him, they asked the alien what's happening, and the alien said, one person's going to destroy the planet. And they tried and tried. They didn't show all of it because I'm not going to get into all the details, but they tried to make him say who it was. All right, aliens were in the White House. All right, that's for real, people. How many people knew about that? How many people were actively involved? Go back to when it started. Eisenhower and Truman. Truman was the first one dealing with it. Eisenhower had to follow through what Truman was setting up, and that was called MJ-12. And that's real. The Men in Black, that's real. And there's 2 different sides to the Men in Black. The government and aliens. You know, if you watch X-Files, believe it or not, all those stories were taken out of police files. Some idiot said he wrote them all, but he was a liar. Again, it's more lies. They were all taken from stories. Even explosions. People explode because of the gas inside their body and things. And that's for real too. All right. But every 4th one, it was about aliens. All that stuff was real. Now, take it to the first movie X-Files put out, which was important. If you watch it, if you never watched it, watch it. It has a lot of actual facts about aliens. And I'm not going to go into details because I'll probably be in serious trouble right now. But watch it, watch what happens, watch what it's about. And I'll tell you the number one thing that's really important, and it's bees. B-E-E-S. All right. Honeybees. Well, if you watch the movie, you'll understand, you'll see, and all that kind of stuff. But it goes a lot deeper than that, for real. All right. I was not good friends, but friends with a person from MJ-12. He was the one putting the information out. He was allowed to. But he put the wrong thing out. And they took out his whole family and him. All right. I've got somebody else to come out a couple of years ago. We were friends for a while. He said he killed 18 Greys. All right. I can't prove that he did, but I know he didn't kill 18. He might have killed 2. But in the interim, his actual blood and everything was sent to the government, and the person that did the one that had the alien inside the government said the blood matches. But that's a whole different story. I don't want to go there because it's not going to help us. Doing to us. Trump knows he could be in power if he keeps us in war. Which he said we could have war for we were unsupplied with weapons and stuff. We would always be able to go as long as we have to. All right, we don't have to go long. We could take out half of the world right now. There's a spaceship built by the United States. It costs $44 billion. It has many of Tesla's weapons on it. And they didn't release it. They were supposed to release it by the end of the year, which they didn't do. And probably they're not going to. Because the way it's going, I mean, if Russia threatens to start a war, or China does, we'll take them out, people. Now, I don't know if you remember, a 2 years ago, the head of Russia said, look, we could take the United States out in 3 hours. So what we think and what Trump knows is so far separate, and neither one of us, one of everybody else, I'm not going to say me because I know a lot more than most people, that we can't do this and we can't do that. We're having wars in space, we're having wars on planet Earth with aliens. For real. Stephen Greer is not even smart enough to know that. He doesn't know why aliens are here. And he thinks good aliens are going to come and save us. They didn't save any race in 200,000 years. Never. They destroyed multiple races. There was an actual gray race living in Mexico. A whole city of grays. They found it a couple years ago. When the virus happened, that stopped the dig there and the government took control over that area. All right, but they found thousands of artifacts. Not one, not two, not 10, not 20. All right, big, little, all kinds of facts, documents of their history. Oh, you name it. So that's just one race. But the Greys aren't friends with the reptilians, and reptilians aren't friends with the draconians, and that they're all not friends. Except the highest one that I know are the mantis. They look like praying mantises walking. But they usually have one on every reptilian ship as the captain. All right. Now, there's races that you need to know about, like the tall whites. All right. And then the Nordics. They're not the same. The Nordics people think are like angels and Jesus, but they're not. They're walking aliens. All right. Now, the tall whites are on a base, on an alien base, on government property. You're in Area 51, which Trump's supposed to expose. Will he expose Area 52, Area 53, and Area 54? There's different races on those different realms. One person speaking about that was out there on the base working for the government, made friends with the tall whites. They offered the United States a planet that's like Earth, and they said they would take them there. And our government said, no, we'll get there. We don't need your weapons or your stuff, which is a ridiculous statement, but that's their viewpoint. Ego. Government is run on ego. Religions are run on ego. Ego is the destruction of mankind and will be. All right. What man considers important is not. So when Trump does what he's doing, taking money from the poor, running people out of the country, doing all these things, covering up every aspect of the Epstein files. There's thousands of pictures with Trump and kids and everything else. And if you talk to people, do you remember there was a special on TV, which I don't think anybody saw, or a few people did, about the Playboy Club? These women said when they worked there, once they started working there, they were under the control of the rich people. Trump went there. Epstein went there. I mean, Trump was thrown out of the White House. That's online. You can pull that up. Trump said, I'm sorry I put you on the cover of Playboy magazine, and our friendship's over. What could Trump do in the Playboy Club to be thrown out of it that wasn't already being done there? Guess what? So think about that. Nobody's even talking about that. Why? It's all the things Trump was doing before he became. People, we're going to lose our country. And now he declares war. He could take every Republican and give him a star. But guess who his people are? Kennedy was a hardcore drug addict. Dr. Phil, really? He couldn't make it as a real doctor, so he did a TV show. Oprah made people famous. Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, two people considered the most spiritual people on the planet, know zero about a God. All right. Sadly, they all became super rich. Now, I knew Bigelow, not as a good friend. I was trying to talk to him directly for a year, but he sent me a I got the set right here, 5 gold-plated books of psychic energy abilities and all that they were doing. But when he owned a Skinwalker Ranch, lots of things happened there. I knew friends that were there and everything else. People died, people disappeared. There was entities there, all kinds. And Bigelow left because he was told by a demon, whatever you want to call it, to leave, and he left. All right. I know all about it because I was doing exorcisms by the time I was 20. All right. And just so you know, people, Catholics don't have a shield against demons. All right. The Pope hired 1,500 people to do exorcisms. A good friend of mine is one of the top exorcists in the United States, and he does it over the phone even. I haven't talked to him for a while. But he's really a good person. If you need one, get in touch with me, and I'll get you in touch with him. All right. But what do you think's happening? Maxwell, her name's really important because she supposedly testified, but I don't know. I didn't see it. Did you see it? Do you know what she said? And when a person says, well, I can't answer that on a fifth, they should be put in jail. It means they're covering up a lie. Or what I suggest, waterboarding, what that means, making a person talk. Well, here's my suggestion, people. If you're found guilty of anything and you're going to go to jail, prove it. And there's a couple ways to prove it. First off, start off with a lie detector test. If they can't pass that, you don't have to go any further. All right, if they can pass that, give them truth serum. There's 3 different kinds of truth serums. And I doubt anybody's capable of beating them. All right. Then get a room of at least 7 psychics and let them talk to this person. All right. And they're not going to come out as a killer and come out as a good person after all that's done. So you know you're putting a bad person in jail, not a good person. All right. But see, they won't do that. And jail's set up to make money. Only reason why jails are set up the way they are. Do you know how much they you should be writing notes because you might not remember any of this stuff or care to. But you know how many people? Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Am I an atheist? No, I'm not an atheist. What do you believe in? God? I believe in Jesus. Jesus wasn't what they said he was, but Jesus was the most spiritual person to walk this planet. But, sorry, I had to answer the 2 questions in there. An atheist? No. This is hell. And it's really hell, and Satan controls it. All right, people. Satan gives people what they want, not tearing their life apart. Satan, if he let everybody go, he'd be alone. So how's he keep them here? Give them money, give them sex, give them drugs. Cheap thrills, sports, all the things that are useless. All the money made by sports. And even marijuana. They couldn't make money off of it, so they made it illegal. Cigarettes and beer were promoting all the sports. Why? Why is sports considered like United States and baseball, football? Really? Man has nothing to do but play with balls. Big ones and little ones. Golf, like Mr. Trumpo. Really? But he was too chicken and too yellow to go join the army. All right, his father ran from the army. People, do you know that? Musk, at least his father served in like the not the army itself, but in some like health thing and stuff. But Musk left his country so he didn't have to go in the army. So these wishy-washy people are president and controlling the army, Navy, Marines, F-less. And he even has his finger on his button. Should be somewhere else. It probably really is all the time. Little girls. People, if you can stand by and live in a country and be proud of it, being run by pedophiles and sick, perverted, twisted people. Gates came out and said he was sorry. He said he was a fool then. Oh, that makes it all right? People, do you care where our country's going? Do you have a clue why it's going the way it is? People are selling out to the Satan. Now, to show you how bad it was, Bob Dylan, the greatest songwriter in the history of planet Earth, in the United States at least, I know, all right, every song he wrote, whether it was for himself or for another person, became a famous song. But he did a video. I probably could pull it up right now. I don't know if they took it down or not. He said, look, I sold my soul to the devil. And he says a lot of other singers and stuff do. You get what you want to stay here. You don't get what you want to leave. Give all that stuff up. You got a better chance of leaving and then staying away and not coming back. All right. I feel bad about what's happened. Can I change it? No. I was told I was. I was told by three psychics and 2 native elders, medicine people, that I could change the world. And I don't believe it. I'm 73. I'm going to be around too much longer. But people don't want to hear the truth. When Jesus was walking the planet, do you think they wanted to hear the truth? They didn't know any kind of truth. They didn't know what a God was. They had multiple gods that weren't real. Did they know what love was? Love did not exist for 2,000 years. 200,000 years. Women were always victims and slaves. All right? The only women that ever got above that was the queen. I mean, the rest had to sell themselves as sex people for the kings and things like all that. And it was legal in religions, and it's legal in all those kind of ideas. So sex is probably the most abusive word on the planet, an accepted word on the planet by men, especially when it comes to children. Sacrificing children was always a big important thing to certain tribes, like the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs. Sacrifice is evil, people. I grew up in Jersey. Santeria came into it. I don't know if you know what Santeria is. It's kind of like voodoo. They opened up churches in Jersey. And they were sacrificing people. And they'd rent a hotel room. And they'd find fingers in the head in there. And what they did to spells to put them on schools. Like if somebody did something bad to their child, you'd see a goat walking around with bells on it and dead pigeons all on the steps. I went through all that. I worked in a high priest, not a high priest, sorry, a Santeria priest house fixing his phones. You see all that stuff in his room, chemicals, drugs, and parts of animals, creatures, you name it. And his little son's dancing. I could dance the voodoo dance, Santeria dance, and stuff like that. But I talked to him. I was a high priest at the time. And I said, what do you do? He goes, well, I put spells on people in the mob, so that they don't go to jail, that kill the people that are trying to put them in. I mean, it's way worse than that, people. I'm talking many years ago, when I was 18, 19. All right, I started learning about all those things. I mean, I had 5 death experiences. I learned how to leave my body when I was 6. I met my first alien when I was 12. I saw my first UFO at 6 when it was trying to abduct my... It's all real, people. You don't have to believe it. You might not ever. I live with a Buddhist, and she doesn't believe in any of it. And I know inside she thinks I'm crazy. I just filmed an incredible UFO over Hawaii, right here, sent it to Channel 4 News, waiting for them to put it up. They said they were going to try and stuff. They said, well, I called 4 times, and they said, well, maybe you should just send it to us again. I know they have it, because the one girl said, oh, I just watched it, it's really cool. But it's not a Tic Tac. It's not a drone. It's not a plane. On top of that, I filmed it for about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I had to run around three blocks to keep up with it, because it was going behind trees and everything, and I had to follow it. But it was going slow. I can film 20 ships here in Hawaii in the morning. 30 ships in an hour. Oh, well, they're drones. I mean, they're satellites, and they're this, that. No, they're not. All right. Drones don't fly over the ocean. Not like this and that and all that over your head. But the difference between a UFO and a government plane, a UFO can travel faster than the speed of light. The human body can't deal with that, but a UFO can. All right. Now, we did a TV show, the friend I was working with. We filmed more UFOs than anybody else in the United States. I'm not talking about Tic Tacs. I'm talking about actual ships, creatures, entities. We filmed all that. But he decided to sell out to the government. We had a fight, and he sold out. Now he claims he's the disciple of Jesus. But he came up with a lot of money. So, you do what you got to do. But we used to go out 6 days, 5 days a week, roughly, every other day, filming things from 10 o'clock at night to 3 o'clock in the morning. At first, we shot 1,000, 2,000 pictures, not 2,000, maybe 1,200 pictures every night. I mean, we were using film. And to develop it was like, at that time, it was like $36 to develop a roll of film. So it was so expensive. I had a nice camera, but I sold it for my first digital camera, which is like $500. I had a $3,500 camera, and I sold it for a digital camera. And then we switched over to digital. But we could film 1,000 pictures a night, 2,000 pictures a night, download them. And the only thing we had to buy was batteries. When digital cameras came out, you went through a battery, like you could take 50 pictures and the batteries were dead. All right. But people, trying to get you to understand, everything you hear is a twisted lie of the truth. There's good aliens. No, there are not. Good aliens can't overpower the bad aliens. It's like, who can overpower Trump right now? Nobody. If an alien race, which he's going to expose, no, not much of it. How much can he expose? Unless aliens are ready to take over the planet. Which they could. One race does want to. All right? One race wants to destroy the planet. I mean, we got problems, people. And why the government doesn't come out and tell you? Do you think people do things for their sick, perverted reasons? Getting back to, I'm going in a big circle. Denver Airport. Do you know the New World Order? Their belief system, which is their belief system. They have to tell the world what they do before they do it. Seriously. That's why they put in the floor, U.S. New World Order. Then 2 years later, they took it out and put a fountain over it. All right. Now, there's I don't know, the tablets of, I forgot what they're called, where they have the prophecy, 240,000 people are going to be left and all that. Nobody knows how it got there. All right. And it's a prophecy of the future, what's going to happen. But people, all these things that are going on, when they were finding those steel boxes in different parts of the deserts and stuff like that, giant steel things and stuff, all these things are happening. And did they tell you why? I mean, if you watch Planet of the Apes and things like that, oh, I think that's why, or that's what happens, or that's what's going to happen. The truth is out there. X-Files said it. If you watch the X-Files, I got the whole set. I watch them once in a while because, so much truth was in all of them. But getting back to when I said watch X-Files, the movie, the first movie, is the extension of all the series of what they showed about aliens. And it's important because it's real. A lot of the facts in that are real. But it's funny, he doesn't believe in them and she does, in aliens. But again, we're in a world where so many things can be happening, good and aren't, and everything bad that's happening is happening. Now, I'm not going to let you go if you're really listening. All right, Trump doesn't believe in global warming. He believes we should use gas and oil. Do you know anything about what is actually causing global warming? But you don't. But nobody in Congress knows. Trump sure doesn't know. I'm not going to tell you. Find out. Do some energy work and find out why. Because Al Gore, was paid millions of dollars to get the idea of global warming out there. All right. Sure, the basic things do cause it. Earthquakes, volcanoes going off, and fires. All right. But mankind is creating much more dangerous stuff that's causing the super change super fast. All right. But you have to find out what the government's using. But they don't talk about that. And Congress are ignorant. Not to know what's causing the problems on your planet is ignorance. Especially if you're claiming you're going to work for the United States and protect them and all these other words. Protect the United States from apes, Mr. Trump. Put real prisoners in jail, not people trying to just deal with life and trying to hide from it. Most people smoke and drink because they can't deal with life. And you want to put them in jail? Yeah, because you know why? Did I say the figures? A man that gets put in jail, depending on which jail, the average pay that they get for each person in jail is about anywhere from $80,000 to $150,000 per person in jail. You think that person's getting that much good food and good clothes and everything else to get that kind of money? Well, the homeless and poor people get $11,000 $11,000 a year. Is that disgustingly sick and perverted and twisted? People, you live in a twisted government. All right, I'm going to go on. I got nothing else to do other than put the truth out there. I don't care what happens to me. I know I'm going, and I'm glad to go there. Sooner the better. I didn't want to be a watcher, and they are real. I don't want to watch the world deteriorate, which it's doing rapidly. But the end times, read Revelations. Read what John wrote. Read what laws are, what they mean, what sins can't be forgiven. Read it. If you're a Christian, and there's 2.6 billion Christians on the planet, I think they should read it. There's 2.4 billion Muslims. There's 1.4 Hindu people in religion, which is most of the planet population, believe it or not. Then you got 2,000 other religions. And two of them that I didn't mention are the only way you're going to get closer to God. Christianity, you could pray to God all you want. Considering half of the planet's praying for God to heal the planet, heal people, and all that. Is that happening? No. We're going the opposite way. God created angels for a reason. Now, another word that you probably don't know much about is deities. Deities are real. Just as real as angels are. but they're much more powerful for a word, and they're much higher vibration. But even that's being abused by man's ego. In the religions, man's ego wants to take the deity and make it themselves. Think about that. I can give you things that you really should be worried about, thinking about, trying to change, trying to understand where you're going to go when you die. What's going to happen? Are you going to reincarnate? Of course you are. Do you know how to leave your body? Well, I do drugs and I leave my body. Yeah, where do you go? La La Land? Now, the native people believe the elders go to the green pastures, a place on the astral plane. All right, Buddha doesn't talk about that much. He talks about going to a place and staying there for 40 days while you get judged and all those kind of words, whatever, and then you reincarnate. Why would you want to reincarnate? Well, I'm attached to my family. I'm attached to sex. I'm attached to money, gold, silver. I'm attached to boats. I'm attached to sports. I want to be famous. Sure, it'll bring you back, but Satan's giving you those ideas to stay here. And mankind worries about their body more than their soul. Now, I'm not going to go into races because races have different ways to deal with their body and reasons why they do. But we got a government that's very sick. And they have, a government should be a system that we created for us, not for them. We the people. What does that mean, stupid and ignorant people? We the people. We the government? We the rich assholes? People, where's your attention? Where's your brain? Do you know what? Sorry. When you go to vote, who counts those votes? When they have personal people counting them? You don't think Musk could have bribed all those people? He bribed people to vote for Trump. He gave Trump millions of dollars. Isn't that a bribe? Is that not a bribe? Are they allowed to accept gifts? I know even for the phone company, we weren't allowed to accept gifts. All right. Do people accept gifts? Of course they do. So, how do you classify the difference between a bribe and a gift? Any multimillionaire giving a person money, unless you're talking about a poor person walking the street, is a bribe. And why do you think Trump and everybody in government that are rich are supporting Trump? You heard the phrase, money makes the world go round. No, it makes the evil go round. Native people, tribal people live without money for a long time. They work together as a unit, not single, which mankind doesn't do. I mean, you heard like Easy Rider, when he went to this village where they were all living together and stuff. I mean, there's small places that existed like that. Now, I'm going to go on. I know people aren't listening, but if you do tune in Colorado, there's a lower village, and it goes through Cookieville. And inside there's down in there, it's an aqua river going over these rocks, and it's so beautiful. When I went swimming there, we met a couple. They told us it's deserted there. There used to be a community there. The government came in, killed them all, and said they were whatever they wanted to call them, criminals and a cult group, which they like to kill people in cult groups because they're going against the government. Now, I'm going to go into two more things, like suicide and, okay, why do people kill cult groups? What is a cult group? People that know the system's wrong. You got a choice. You follow it or you go to jail. I mean, when you say on the highway, it said do 60. Oh, I'm going to do 80. No, you're not. When they break into your house, you know it's not right. It's not legal. But Rumpo is giving them the permission to do it. Well, that's being fought really hard now. The biggest protest is going to happen by the end of this month, people. And you really should be on the good side of it because we have to stop what's happening. If we don't, the world's not going to be here much longer. Trump thinks he's going to create world peace by war and by power. No, you don't create. Not going to happen. But on the other hand, you got a choice. Pro or con? Are you for Epstein or are you against it? I just been searching the whole thing about the suicide of Epstein, which I know isn't real. I mean, there's all kinds of theories that he's in another country. They see guys that look like him with bodyguards around him and things like that. But supposedly his brother Mark saw the body. But the government took the body and was buried right away. You know, Jewish people have to be buried in a certain amount of days and things like that. But really? A real sick, pathetic person like that has to be following the rules of a Jewish religion? Well, suicide, his family did an autopsy. Now, the girl that did it was obviously Trump's clone zombie, said that it was suicide. The person that the family had do it, I think his name's something like Beeden, said the way his body parts were, bones all broken, this, that, and the other thing, he never saw it in 50 years of a suicide. That alone says something really different than what you've been told. He was found in fetal position. You don't hang yourself and end up in fetal position. If you hang yourself the way he did with this little thing, you see what he hung himself with, what did he tie it to and all that? You don't put it around your neck and fall over. Because as you're dying, body instincts will pull it off. Period. If you can. When you're hanging from a tree or something like that, obviously you can. But he was in fetal position when he was found? Oh, I'm dead. I'm get up like that. Really? Every lie you believe. You believe the government hasn't been working with aliens. You believe the government doesn't know about aliens. If they do, they got to tell us. Well, they're not going to tell you. They sold the human soul to what do you want to call them? There's different races. And to prove that fact, there's a couple books out on missing persons, meaning thousands go missing in a park. Car sitting on top of a mountain and the whole family's gone. How is that possible? There's no cliff they fell over and fell into. There's no lava pit where they got sucked up by lava or quicksand and things like that. There was a video put up about a couple. And thinking about it, I mean, it was a long time ago, so it was not too easy to do it with AI. They see a fireball land, and they go, wow, that's cool. And he goes running over to it. Then it splits open, and then it screams, and then you see her go spinning around with the camera, and it was really incredible video. But that disappeared. Now, to show you how bad it is, somebody I know, his name's John Ford, Ford. He's in a nut house in Long Island. He was framed on TV. I was living in Jersey. They said, man captured with barrel of uranium. He was going to put it in toothpaste and kill people in government. That was the end of the story. He was in jail. They couldn't put him in jail. He was in a nut house first. So he was in since 1996. Every year the government comes in and says he can't be released. He has to be reevaluated. They reevaluate him every year, saying he's too crazy to let go. And he's going to kill people, which is a lie. He was a UFO person, had a piece of uranium that big. And he had it to check his Geiger counters. I got a Geiger counter. I made my partner I was doing my show with buy it. Get one. She's in England. When we ended our show last December. But she was abducted most of her life. But he had uranium and he was going to put it in toothpaste. Oh, I'm going to shove this uranium in toothpaste? How am I going to do that without dying? So, let go. How's that? Now, my good friend, I was good friends with him, Sean David Morton. He was a top psychic in the United States, rated #1. He prophesied 9/11 in detail, 1 year before it happened. He spoke at all the UFO conferences and things like that. I was always his bodyguard when he came to New York and things. But he was a sovereign citizen. And he was teaching people how to become sovereign citizens. And when that was happening, they arrested him. They warned his wife. They said, look, we're arresting your husband, but don't be near him. And it was the eclipse. And what she do? Go meet him. And then she gets put in jail with him as well. But he was in jail for 2 years. He actually was able to do his show for half hour in jail every week. But in that, he said, what happened to him when he got out? They put him in solitary confinement for 6 months. They had him raped in jail. They were pulling his teeth out. They were trying to blind him because he was trying to do the paperwork to get out of jail. And because in court, a sovereign citizen doesn't have the right to have a lawyer, and you're not allowed to speak in jail. So he got out. They let him out because he was dying. He got cancer from his throat down and all the way through and stuff. But he tried every treatment there was to stop it. But none of it helped. He died. But again, they wouldn't have let him out of jail if he wasn't dying. They would have kept torturing him, doing everything else they can. He was really a critical person. His book, Sands of Time, is the most important UFO book written. Now, another friend of mine who was on Jesse Ventura's show, who actually worked on the HARP system for the government, since he was working for the government since he was 14, was talking about the HARP system, HAARP system, the most deadliest weapon on the planet. But what happened was he even was using it and blew up the house next door. Trying to beam up, came down and blasted the house apart. But in the interim, the day after he did Jesse Ventura's show, the day he was doing the show with Jesse goes, aren't you worried the government's going to come after you? He goes, no, I work for the government. He goes, what about me? He goes, well, you're too mainstream for them to take you out. Day after he was found dead in a hotel room. So, he's only one of the people. I lost 16 friends. All right. 2 whole families. So people, it's all real. Everything you don't want to believe is real. Anything you want to believe is probably a lie. All the good things, all these other aspects that you want to believe in are lies. Who's going to save you on planet Earth? Nobody. A healer is another word, like in Revelations, false prophet. Nobody can heal you. You commit a sin, you got to pay that back. You might go to a healer. Oh, I feel good for a while, but your karma is there, and soul has to pay that back. People, you don't escape doing things bad and getting away with it. Maybe in a lifetime, but then again, when you reincarnate, you're not even aware of your other lifetimes. How many people are aware of any other lifetime? Very few people, and you should know them all. Know why you're here. Know why you're still here. I know why I'm not coming back. I know why I came here and stayed here this time. It took me my whole life to get to it. Spiritual growth is the hardest thing to attain in hell, because you're more aware of the pleasures, the food, the thrills. Not soul. But I'll tell you this. If you leave your body and go into the next realm, the Esther plane, it's better than here. But if you attain a more spiritual awareness and go to the next realm, you couldn't imagine how incredible it gets. It gets better and better. The only thing is, you're no longer male and female. You're a light being. All right? And it's a lot different. So Satan is real. Lucifer is an angel, people, not a devil, demon. They all fell. They were all doing something stupid called fighting. All right? And they fell to the astral plane. They're not walking around on planet Earth. I mean, the entities, not the entities, the deities. In Hindu days, which is the oldest religion on the planet, they work with Shiva, Queen Tara, Durga, Kali, all those names and deities and stuff. Oh, they're real. But even they left. They don't work with planet Earth much at all. We're too far gone. Satan's army, he has an army. It's not just Satan controlling the whole world. It's like God doesn't watch every single person on this planet. Why? You think it wants to watch you eat, go to the bathroom, and have sex? What else do you do? And you think God wants you to sit there and pray all day either? No. If he wanted that, I want to throw something in real fast. Jacques Cousteau, one of his last movies, he did the Toxic Planet. And he showed all the countries around the world how toxic they are and how far out the water is toxic. But he said the future, and he had a little satellite with a head in it. He says, we don't need a body. We just tell and do, make everything do what we want it to do, which is so close to the truth. Mankind doesn't want to do anything. It wants robots to do everything. So what are you really doing here? Playing with robots? I did that when I was a little kid. I had almost every robot I could get. Every year I got a new robot for my birthday, Christmas. But now it's over the limit. All right, I gave you enough stories. You could call it bullshit. You could call it whatever you want. It's the truth. It's my truth. It's the truth that I've proven for real. All right, and I'm only accountable to one entity, and it's called God. All right, not Trump. Trump wants to kill me. Trump wants to put me in jail. Well, I won't live in jail. I'll let myself die. But anything he wants to do, that's his choice. But his karma will grow incredibly. I work with two deities. I knew one other one I didn't work with really, but Queen Tara and Shiva. Shiva is one of the most powerful deities in the lower realms. Durga is the highest powerful deity in the higher realms. Queen Tara is the most spiritual one out of them all. So, who you want to work with? What do you want to work with? I want to work with Jesus. Jesus isn't walking this planet, and he won't. He will not come back, people. You can swear up and down and believe he will. Look at the world. Look at it. It's crumbling. Who would Jesus want to come back to save? You? Why? What are you doing that's so spiritual? Well, I preach the gospel. What gospel? Man's written words in the Bible that are lies? Even the Pope lied. Pope wanted to create a new. I said he should have created a new religion because he didn't believe in the Bible. So people, you can believe what you want, and a belief is just a belief until you prove it to yourself as reality. If you don't step out of your body, you'll never know that the soul is different than the body. And that's the first thing you have to learn to escape this reality. Then angels and deities, you have to meet with one and learn the inner worlds and the higher worlds and things like that. You don't just go into another realm. It's like if I drop you off in the desert of a country or in a jungle in another one, what would you do? Probably die in a short period of time. But I'm not going to quote Jesus because man wrote most of what he said. And Moses was not teaching what Jesus was teaching. Moses created 10 Commandments. He wrote them. But he also wrote 63 laws. Read the Bible. I was going to become a preacher at 17. I read the Bible cover to cover 3 times. And I realized there was no truth about God. I went through 14 religions, realizing each one had no truth about a real God. God wanted to protect us, we wouldn't be killing each other. God wanted us to be good, we wouldn't be killing each other. All right? Does God want us to have 10 children, 2 children? Does he care? See, you want to give God all this credit for what? Taking care of demons? No, they're here. And they're harassing everybody right now. I mean, I was working with poltergeists with my mom when I was little. I played with a Ouija board and it gave us incredible answers. All that stuff's real. But where's it get? Karma. If you were psychic and you could go into a casino, if you could predict 1 minute into the future, you could go into every casino and take all their money. And that doesn't happen, does it? All right. Luck is one word. I mean, no, I put a number on 0 and it came out and I won. But do it every time. Just 1 minute. All you have to know is 1 minute before the wheel or the thing rolls, the dice rolls, the ball rolls, whatever. Even a football game, if you could read how the game's going to end. Anything. If you knew that, you could stop people from dying. But again, that doesn't happen, people. My friend Sean David Morton, like I said, was the top psychic. And he prophesied 9/11 1 year before. Where was he on the day it was supposed to happen? Nowhere. I ended my friendship with him for 2 years because of that. I said, you knew it was going to happen. You didn't even go there to stop the people from going in. And my other friend that I did all my UFO work with said he prophesied it too. And I said, where were you when it happened? Why weren't you standing in front of the Trade Center and say, don't go in there. It's going to blow up. Psychics, when you're given a vision from God, which comes through an angel, all right, you listen to it. You got a choice. Noah didn't have to build the ark. Sodom and Gomorrah was given a vision. And what did his wife do? Disobey. What happened to her? See, the truth is, if you don't follow the truth, you don't get to where it's going to lead you to. You follow a lie, you stay where you are. And this is hell. With that, people, this is a long show. This is one of the longest shows I did ever. But I don't have a co-host. The co-host flat left me. I don't know why. I think because all the UFO people hate me. Because I experience things. I know things are real. But there's something, well, it could be a real UFO. It could be. Oh, it's a Tic Tac. And even the person that Mr. Trump's hiring from the UFO world to be in charge of that now is another person that supposedly worked for the government on UFOs. And he can only say, I think. And he never said anything important either. These are when they put Tic Tacs out. A little dot going around like this. I saw everything. I saw thousands of ships in my life. For real. Not planes, not comets, not meteorites, or whatever you want to call it. It's all real, people. And the problem is, so is Satan, whether you want to believe that or not. You know, like, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to go over my limit. I can tell you this. When you're going to do something, say you're walking down the street, and you're getting close to the corner and the light's changing, your first thought says, run, get across the street. The second one says, no, just wait for the next light. Who do you listen to? One of them is soul, and one of them is your ego brain. Always. But you need to know which one. It'll either be the first or the second, always. But you need to find out which one's right. And you can do that in a week or a month, however much time you want to put into it. But follow the first thought all the time. Follow the second thought all the time. See which one gets you into trouble. See which one gets you hurt. See which one does not. It's important to know. I mean, I was told not to do that. Or I shouldn't do that. And you do it anyway, right? Well, people, soul's real, which is what you are. God's real. Jesus was a real being. He's on the one of the higher realms, not the lowest realm anymore. But he's not coming down here. Ego or not, I worked with Jesus a few times. I lived in Jesus' time frame. I was a woman. Mary Magdalene was my closest friend. That's what my book's about. What Jesus was really teaching. I remember, he was working with people that were pretty lame. They didn't have many words. They were farmers, fishermen, horseshoers, and things like that. Farriers, whatever. But did they know technical words? God, reincarnation, deja vu, clairvoyancy, or any of those kind of words? Any of that? No. All right, people. Wherever you go with this, send it to your friends. I hope the link will pull it up. I don't know. I hope I didn't say anything. YouTube blocked so many of my shows already. Even AOL is blocking every other comment I make, which is bizarre. And it's only been going on for the past few years. So yeah, Trump and his free speech. How can you promote free speech and then take it away? How can you promote, I'm going to make peace and create war? It's ignorance, it's evil, and it's dangerous. And if you want to follow a sex pervert of any kind, all these people involved, Musk is a good person. No, he's not. He's spending all his money, he's blowing ships up, and he wants to go to Mars. Well, supposedly his daughter or somebody said he doesn't want to go to Mars anymore. But I can go on about stories that are real about that too, but I'm not. Not today. But enjoy your life. Search for the truth. Don't stop for anything else other than that. Don't listen to anybody unless you can prove it to yourself. Don't believe what you read. All the ancient writings. What do you think wrote the Ten Commandments? All right? Now, they were only a way to live. They weren't laws, really. And Moses came out with 63 laws, which was like if you do something wrong and you see something wrong, you got to pluck your eyes out. All those kind of things. I mean, he was really pathetic. But he was the greatest black magician at that time. I work with high priests. And it's black priests, black magicians, whatever word you want to hear. But I've been through it, and I'm tired of it. It's sick, disgusting, and it's sad. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you want in your life, don't stop for anything less. But make sure it comes from the truth and not the lie. All right, people. Till next time. Oh, I'm getting tired. This is a long show.